Well, welcome to the Indiana Bond Bank Bondcast. I'm Mark Woolner, Executive Director for the Indiana Bond Bank. So excited to be here with one of our Flipping Finance Challenge 2021 participating communities. Gosh, that's a mouthful. The City of Sullivan with Mayor Clint Lamb. Mayor, welcome.
One of our flipping mayors in the Flipping Finance Challenge. Isn't that something?
That's
One of
right.
these flipping cities down here. Thank you so much. We appreciate the City of Sullivan being selected for this amazing opportunity and look forward to seeing what we can do together as a team.
Fantastic, Mayor. And just candidly, we've got innovators from around the state. I think many of them may never have heard of Sullivan. I know that breaks your heart. May not even know where Sullivan is geographically in the state. So you want to
Shame on them.
I know.
Right? Yes. Well, the City of Sullivan is located conveniently, and some folks say Southwest Indiana, some say West Central. It just kind of depends. We are probably the first county, Southwest Indiana, and like I've said many times before, Terre Haute is the Sullivan's favorite suburb. So, and the mayor up there really appreciates that when I say that. He says I'm the only mayor that can get away with saying that. But yeah, so we are here in the Terre Haute metropolitan area, the City of Sullivan, home of Sullivan County Park and Lake, which was the very first county park and lake established in 1968 here in the state of Indiana.
No kidding. Wow. And I think as we were talking, one of the potential opportunities for innovators to work on is around that park and lake opportunity.
Absolutely.
So very cool. Mayor, you're clearly passionate about the city of Sullivan. Maybe tell us about your story. How'd you get to be mayor? What's tell us about your path to the role.
Yeah, well, the city, as far as wanting to be mayor, I think that started in about 1985, 1986. I was in kindergarten. My great-grandfather served as the mayor of the City of Sullivan from 1948 to 1952. He passed away in 1955, so there was never any, I didn't know who he was, but I would hear stories and different things. And I come from a family which very community oriented. Now, they never ran for office. They weren't political, but they were just very active in community, whether it was the American Legion, whether it was the church, the community theater, raising foster kids for over 30 years. My grandparents instilled in me a sense of truly living by the city's motto, which is take time to care. And really just a genuine love for people and a passion for hometown and community. And that's kind of really where it all started. So I had to tip my hat to my grandparents that are no longer with us, but I'm sure are smiling down on their hometown of all the great things going on here in the community. So that's kind of what started my interest in just people. It really wasn't politics. It was just people. And it was the love of my community. Was involved somewhat in high school in some political campaigns and things like that. And now that I've served 9 years as mayor, I'm the least partisan I have ever been. You kind of, a lot of people get into run for office and they become political. It was kind of the opposite with me where, you kind of get involved due to the politics and it was always intriguing to me. And then when you become a mayor, several mayors have said there's no Democrat or Republican way to push snow or to pick up trash or to just reinvest and make our communities, awesome, innovative hubs, which is exactly what we're trying to do, and just to try to increase our population, right?
And Mayor, your passion is it's resonated with me. I think I've shared with you. You and I first met, and you probably don't remember, this was on a 92 county tour when Lieutenant Governor Ellspermann came in. It had to be 2012, 2013, maybe.
I think so. Down at Sullivan City Park, right? Did we meet down there?
Yeah, exactly. And I was just impressed. I was at the Housing Authority at the time and just kind of came along for the ride. And of the various communities that we stopped in, I mean, just your energy at the time, your vision, and clearly, 9 years hasn't dulled that at all. I mean, it's just you still got the juice and by participating in FFC. I mean, clearly, how does flipping finance play a part in that bigger vision that you still have for the City of Sullivan?
Well, anytime a mayor thinks that they have it figured out, you got to be careful, right? Every single day you learn something new. I mean, I'm excited about the projects and stuff we're working on, but I always spy on other communities. Anytime I go somewhere, my wife throws a fit. If we go to another city to have dinner, it takes me 3 hours to check out the streetscape, what kind of trees they have, what do the banners look like. And it's just, I always say being the mayor is not your job. Being the mayor is who you are. You're the mayor at church on Sunday morning. You're the mayor at the grocery store. You're the mayor at the kids' ball games. You're the mayor at the gas station. So basically, you just got to live it. Literally live it. So when you live something like that, you're never off. So I think what the Flip Finance Challenge does for us, it just gives us another set of tools, another set of eyes and individuals that are passionate about community development just as much as a mayor. Of course, you know, my emotional heart is into it because it's my hometown. But I love talking with community development folks and just people from all over. We've had several programs where we participated with many different partners. And it sounds political, but it's the truth. A mayor can push a vision, but he's only as good as the people he surrounds himself with. So I'm never afraid to steal somebody else's idea or look at other communities and get other thoughts and ideas and then craft our own, right? Sullivan's not trying to be just like another city, whether it's New Albany, whether it's Carmel, whether it's Fort Wayne, whatever the case may be, but we can learn things from a lot of those communities. And it doesn't just have to be Hoosier communities, right? Some of the benches in our downtown square were similar benches that I saw in Myrtle Beach on vacation, right?
Oh, wow.
In South Carolina. So, you know, I think what you have here is a partner that is just really open to listen to ideas. And it's great because you talk about the enthusiasm when we met back in 2013. I tell you what, if you don't continue to learn, if you don't continue to work and reach out, the honeymoon ends pretty quick. And you just got to pump yourself up. You got to keep folks coming to the table. And I'm a true believer that energy creates projects, creates progress. And I'm also firm believer that you have to have 100 irons in the fire. And even if 99 of them don't work out, my golly, that 100 is going to be something special. So kind of a long-winded answer, but that sums it up, I hope, somewhat what we're trying to do here in the city and as a partner with you folks.
Perfectly aligns with flipping finance. I think the energy always amazes me where you've got civic-minded folks from oftentimes not the public sector, right? But they just want to try their skills in a different aspect, and they're not the folks who want to come. And this was part of our thing. We didn't want to just put on a conference and say, let's talk about all these issues, and we can have experts talk about why they're issues. It's like, no, if we can use that time together over 18 hours and move the needle on some of these, and you know, how might we actually develop some solutions and ideas? So, you know, as for our innovators who may be listening, is there a particular project kind of out of your list that you're passionate about that you know, would really love some focus on? I know it's like picking your favorite child, right? But is there one that you want to highlight for our conversation?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are several things that are going on here in the city of Sullivan. And what I like about also the Flip Finance Challenge is I think COVID-19, if there is any silver lining, we have learned with these Zoom calls and the Microsoft Teams, the things we're on right now, we don't meet just to meet anymore, right? You know, it's really not an event. It's to get something done, right? You know, I mean, how many meetings are we a part of? And all these meetings, we got to meet just to meet so we can plan the meeting and this and that. So I'm glad you asked about these projects because it's like, boom, let's go, let's get to work, let's get some things done. And I think I might have stated this before, I can't remember, but you know, we're all looking for the same thing, and that's obviously population in our communities, because every city needs citizens, every school corporation needs students, every business needs customers, every employer needs employees. And it's really about people and really getting back to the basics. And this with neighborhood revitalization, you can have great schools, which we do here in the city of Sullivan. We have great parks and recreational opportunities, a downtown that's coming back, which is looking great and full of activity and very vibrant. But at the end of the day, you spend a lot of your time in your home. So housing. And it's not a new concept. You hear this everywhere. You hear a lot of talk about quality housing, but we're trying to be innovative and creative to actually revitalize these neighborhoods. Blight elimination is great. Our own custom They Gotta Go program is great, but really it's the first step of clearing our communities of these, what I call spots of cancer. They're eyesores and they just choke the life literally out of our communities. And with people staying closer to home, the mayor's office is getting an increase in calls about the neighbor's dog barking or the sidewalk down at the end of the street that might have been busted for 20 years, but now that folks are staying closer to home, they're starting to get out and they're starting to learn more about their community. But they're also starting to point out some of the things in their neighborhood that aren't so great. So to me, neighborhood revitalization is really the key, getting back to the basics. A lot of our housing stock here in the city of Sullivan, and I'm sure all over the Midwest, was built during the Industrial Revolution, right? 1910s to the 20s and the 30s. And we saw in the 50s, 60s, some of the suburban sprawl. And that's not just the donut counties here in Indiana. That's even the smaller communities where subdivisions were built just outside, whether it's out at Sullivan County Park and Lake with Lakeside West subdivision, Lakeside East subdivision. But I think what you're starting to see, studies have shown us some of that trend. People are willing to start moving back into town because the ones that built those homes just outside the city are now empty nesters. They're retiring boomers, and they want to be in a livable, walkable community where they're closer to healthcare, they're closer to the store, and they don't have 10 acres, so to speak, or 5 acres or whatever to put up with. So I'm a firm believer, I drank the Kool-Aid or whatever you want to call it, that at the end of the day, that I just need people, by golly, and they all need housing. And that's exactly what we're really trying to focus on, neighborhood revitalization with our Paths to Progress sidewalk projects, whether it's new decorative lighting, storm drainage things, whatever, but really quality housing here in the city of Sullivan is one of our big keys. So that's one of the many subjects. Do I go on to the next?
No, that's, I mean, that's perfect. You're welcome to talk. I mean, I could sit and listen to City of Sullivan and your vision and the progress that you're making. I think what strikes me about neighborhood revitalization is just there's so many different points of entry, right, for the innovators. So I feel like I've shared with you, we'll have entrepreneurs, we'll have policy students, we'll have, housing folks, we'll have, the director of innovation for a tech company. And so we've got, marketing folks. So we have people join the event and kind of form these super teams with different skill sets. And what I love about, I mean, as you know, if there were an easy answer to housing and population growth, neighborhood revitalization, it would have happened. And so there's just so many, I could see so many different points of attack, depending on, as an innovator, my passion, my skill, my education. So I think you've presented, a fun challenge that could get worked on by multiple teams, frankly.
Sure. And when we say neighborhood, we mean neighborhood because you just mentioned several points. How do you market the progress of what you're doing and let folks know? I mean, you don't just build it and hope somebody drives through town and happens to see it, but marketing and really pushing your neighborhoods is key to attract new citizens, making sure it's safe. So this becomes a law enforcement issue, public safety issue. Folks have to feel safe. They have to feel secure, not just like the house. You can build $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 homes, but if the neighborhood isn't so hot, if you don't have the blight removal and things like that, I mean, there's so many different factors here. As far as we run into the issue with just basic blueprints and design and wow, just getting several examples there of, okay, this house could work here on this lot. I mean, there are so many details. And at the end of the day, you're trying to create memories for the families that are going to be living there 30 and 40 years from now. So.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. So the event is only 18 hours, and I'm always amazed each year that innovators come up with real solutions in 18 hours. Is there a way that they can reach out to you? You probably not surprising. A lot of these innovators are go-getters. They work ahead because they want to maximize that time at the event. If they have questions about the city or, what you've already thought of or tried, so they don't reinvent the wheel, how might they get in touch with you or your leadership team ahead of the event?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You can contact me by email directly at just my name, clint.lamb, clint.lamb at cityofsullivan.org, all one word. So you can definitely contact me by email. You can contact me here at the mayor's office at 812-268-5464. My assistant, Lana, she always knows how to get a hold of me. She's the only one with the remote leash that can shock. I got the shock collar. And stop there, Mayor. You got to get back up here. We got folks wanting to help out. So definitely you can give us a call at 812-268-5464 or with the email address that I just put out to you as well.
Perfect. And we'll drop all that with the podcast so that those links will be there should you want them. Gosh, Mayor, I'd like to ask just for fun. I mean, before we approached you from the bond bank, have you even heard of Indiana Bond Bank before Flipping Finance Challenge? And when you heard the words flipping finance, what came to mind at first?
Well, the Indiana Bond Bank, I was familiar with the Indiana Bond Bank. Obviously, I think any government official, mayor, is always talking about with bonding and working on different projects and things like that. But honestly, that was something that that your attorneys kind of took care of and things like that, right? If you were working on a project, Maybe your rate consultant worked on that, your law firm worked on that. But as far as directly working with the IBB, really hadn't done that really one-on-one. So I think it's a great opportunity for the communities and also the Indiana Bond Bank. When you asked the question, what did Flip Finance Challenge, what did that mean to me? I don't know, but definitely intrigued because isn't that at the end of the day, finding ways to pay for these things and executing these ideas and being creative and innovative? I think we've seen just over time that we have to be innovative. We have to, just the standard way of doing business doesn't always work, especially when times change, whether it's technology, whether it's revitalizing our neighborhoods, or it's finding a way to piece this all together. And, I always say as a mayor, they just handed you a box to a jigsaw puzzle, right? And it's your job to start to put the pieces together. And obviously, flipping finance is one of those pieces, very important piece of that puzzle. So looking forward to seeing what we can do together.
Yeah, thank you. And to use that jigsaw analogy, hopefully we've got, this brings more hands to that table, right? More eyes that can help put some of those pieces together and
Sure.
Hopefully accelerate some of the progress that Sullivan has made and continues to make, which is really exciting. I mean, just closing thoughts, Mayor. I want to be respectful of your time. You, in a way, you are competing for time and attention with other communities at the event. Innovators will have a short amount of time to work on a problem. So why should they work on one of the City of Sullivan's challenges?
Because we're going to do something with it. We're not going to meet just to meet. This isn't just another project to throw some ideas and then have them sit on the shelf like a lot of comprehensive master plans are doing all across the state of Indiana. They're great. What do you call it? Door holders, right? That you can shove that book down in the door, keep the door open in case it's coming back and forth. But I think in the City of Sullivan, you have a partner that's actually going to execute. We can all brainstorm and we can dream big and all these things, but at the end of the day, we got to execute, right? And that's exactly, I can assure the folks that might be watching this podcast right now that one of the ideas is going to happen. I mean, this isn't maybe, this is we're going to do it, and do you want to be a part of it? I mean, that's the reality of it. We're going to do something because we can't afford not to. We live in an area that's been challenged. We're a big coal-heavy area, and quite frankly, we've had all of our coal in one bucket. No pun intended, like all our eggs in one basket for far too long. And I don't know whether the biggest issue is the fact that obviously coal is going to go away and how it will impact the area, or there's not been a plan B, which is the bigger problem here. And at the end of the day, we don't have a choice. With COVID-19, with the change in energies, not just here in Sullivan County, not just in the state of Indiana or the country, but over the entire world. This is a global issue, right? This really isn't a political issue. It's economics. But what can we do? We are at a crossroads here in this part of the state, and especially here in Sullivan County. My great-grandfather was a union coal miner, right? And him and 500 other miners wore a helmet with a light on their hat and a pick, and they went underground and they dug coal. Well, politics didn't change that. Electronics and technology and a big machine that could go in and do that same thing was one of the biggest things that impacted that. It was innovation, right? Hence why we have Innovate Sullivan here in downtown Sullivan, which I understand, the smallest city in the state that actually has an incubator startup workspace.
Wow.
But it's custom, right? So we don't have an opportunity. We don't have a choice. We have right now a chance to truly make an impact. And we have a lot of researchers and experts saying what rural America needs to do. Well, here in the City of Sullivan, we will be that shining city on a hill, and we will be the one that actually executes these ideas. And I honestly believe our brighter days are ahead, and it's going to be that way because of partners like these folks.
Oh my gosh. I can't say any better. Thank you, Mayor Lamb, for your time. I can't wait to get this podcast up and shared with our innovators. I think they're going to just be inspired by your passion for the City of Sullivan. And honestly, can't wait till we can get together in person. I don't know if I've shared with you, but after the event, oftentimes the innovators who 18 hours before had never heard of the city now are looking, hey, when can we come visit? When can we meet with local leadership? And we love seeing those partnerships continue after the event, and just some of that spark, because there are a lot of folks who are looking to live in vibrant, growing communities that are great places to live, work, and play, as you said. And so the connections are really cool at this event, and we're so looking forward to have you. So
awesome. Well, I appreciate you having us. Kind of wrap this thing up. Basically, what we're wanting to do is increase our population density. We want to have some of your bigger city amenities with the rural charm. Not everybody wants the big populations, and we get calls all the time. I mean, these things are happening. People, maybe it's from the region or maybe other areas that are maybe looking to retire or wanting to raise their kids, in a smaller area. And that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, what I love about it is I know their names. These aren't just statistics that you hear at a workshop. I know the people. I get the phone calls. We got to make it happen because they're waiting to come in. So thank you so much for including us in this. I can't wait to fiscally have you down after we come together and we become innovative and we find out solutions and then we start implementing them. Can't wait for you to come down and see all the progress.
It is going to be fantastic. Thank you, Mayor. Have a great rest of the day, and we will see you in about a month with the Flipping Finance Challenge.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Take care.